ilé ọba tó jóná ẹwà ló bù sí.
Báwo ni? Mo wà dáadáa.
Cześć, jestem bardzo głodny, co
Kí
na
lẹ ń
obiad?
ṣe?
Hello, alles goed?
Mi ò lè ṣe nǹkan kan
Bedankt.
lénìí. Mo ń jáde.
Dobrze, Mir.
Mi ò fẹ́ ṣe.
Àgbà kí n wà lọ́jà kó yọmọ tuntun wo.
Bună, bine să te cunosc, dacă să termină școala, mi-e foame.
大家好，我喜欢算是，然后我很期待。
Den på Hej, trevlig och träffa dig. Jag älskar din tröja och jag älskar choklad.
Kedu Odimma.
Not all that glitters is gold.
नमस्ते, आपका स्वागत है।
Barkan mu da safiya ya kuke yau?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Tenga un buen día.
हमारे podcast में खुशामदीद.
Koło Nevanody Jusa im Tiel Tilika.
Dzień dobry wszystkim, witamy w podcaście.
Krepi lupo.
Okay. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of LabListens. So this is season 3, episode 2, and my name is Inka. Also, just like a quick fun fact, this episode we actually tried to record this is probably like the third or fourth take that we've taken, because every time either it didn't save or we took it onto the soundboard but not the computer, or I thought weird problems came up like that. So this is quite repetitive, but
Very.
yeah, we've like already recorded this 4 times.
Yeah, like we memorized this whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
The sync with all the yeahs was so crazy. Anyway.
Professional podcast people now.
Anyway. Very professional. So, I don't know if Inka said, but this is season 3, episode 2.
Yeah.
You did say that, right?
Copyright.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I did.
I'm sorry.
It is.
But basically what we're going to be doing in this episode is we're going to be reading a script like we do in almost every episode, and we are going to be like analysing the script and like seeing what the problems in the script are. So yeah, and I'm Natalia, by the way.
So Eliza and I kind of wrote a script in our free time, and we're gonna, as Nat very nicely said, we're going to be reading through it. So I'm going to read the roles that we're going to read. So I'm going to be playing Amma. Eliza is going to be playing Jess. Inka is going to be playing Cami. And Nat is going to be playing Olivia.
Hi everyone. So I'm Eliza, and I just wanted
Guys, I forgot to say I'm Juliette.
I think they know by now.
Anyways, continue.
My whisper thing. We're all doing it. Copyright. I did it first.
Okay, so as I was saying, I'm Eliza, and I just wanted to add that a little disclaimer that this script that we have written is completely fictional. We have made this up. This is not real. And if it is real, then we are sorry. But we've over-exaggerated the script, so like for educational purposes, to kind of explain to us or explain to you guys what our topic is about, which is culture. Sorry, I don't know what to say anymore. We can carry on.
So who was reading stage directions when we recorded this last time?
Me and Inka, we did half and half.
Oh, okay.
okay.
So Inka went first and then I went last. So yeah.
We can just take turns, so I'll read it one time now.
Yeah, let's do that then.
So can you tilt it slightly? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
We shall begin.
It's the first day at a new school and everyone is excited.
Hi, I'm so nervous to start. What's your name? I'm Jess.
Oh, hi. Yeah, everyone seems to know each other and I don't know anyone. I'm Amma.
Armar?
Oh, just Amma.
Armar.
Amma. Just Amma.
Why are you being so rude? It's just a name. You can't automatically expect me to pronounce something that difficult.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
2 other students walk in, wondering about all the commotion.
Hey Jess, how are your holidays? Olivia and I went to the cinema.
Yeah, what's cool? You should come next time.
Who's that?
Meet my good friend Armar.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. Yeah, she's from Africa. She's like so cool.
I was born in London. I've never been to Africa in my life.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. What is that?
What do you mean?
On your head, is that a wig?
No, it's just my hair.
Wow, it's so cool.
Can I touch it? everyone starts to touch the hair.
Could you please stop touching my hair? I'm just not really comfortable with everyone playing with it.
Stop being so weird about it.
Yeah, it's just hair.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Right, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to snap.
Lunchtime arrives.
Oh, hey, Armar. Sit with us.
I walk over shyly.
Hi.
What's up?
They all get out their food and start eating. Ew, what's that smell?
Oh, something really stinks.
Ew, Armar, what is that?
Oh, it's literally just some rice and vegetables.
Listen, Armar, if you want to sit with us, you're going to have to start buying normal food, like the rest of us.
Yeah, just get cheese sandwiches or something, just not whatever that is.
Yeah, okay. So that's the end of the script, and I think, as you can probably see from the script, the people in it, like Jess, Olivia, and Cami, are being kind of indirectly racist and doing like small little microaggressions towards Amma. So I think maybe we'll just go ahead and talk about some of the places where we can see them being indirectly or directly racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, then you go first.
I was just going to say, who would like to start unpicking?
Oh, let's just...
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, when I think it was Jess who like mispronounces Amma's name wrong, that's like number one. Like they pronounce it wrong at the beginning, and then when Amma corrects Jess, she still pronounces it wrong, which shows that she doesn't really care about what her name is pronounced as and how it's being said.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
I just want to say also, like, if she was reading it from a piece of paper, then I can understand how she might accidentally mispronounce it. But Amma actually said, "I'm Amma," so like before Jess pronounced it incorrectly, so she already had heard how to pronounce it. But I think because it's not the most like typical English name, and she kind of like was like, "Oh, that's like not an English name," so, and then she just kind of was like, "I can't pronounce that." And even when Amma corrected her and showed her it was very simple and very easy to pronounce, she just kind of had a mental block that because it wasn't an English name, it was going to be difficult to pronounce.
Yeah, like it's super important to note that it's okay to like sometimes make a mistake with someone's name, especially if it's like unusual or one that you haven't heard before. But like, first of all, it's not like the hardest name, Amma. And either way, it's fine if you accidentally make a mistake or you say it slightly wrong, or maybe you misheard the M as an N, or whatever it is. But it's important to listen to someone when they do give you feedback, or they're like, "Oh, sorry, it's actually Amma," or like trying to correct you. You should then apologize and try to say it correctly instead of just not being flexible, not actually listening to the person whose name it is. And you should try to pronounce it correctly because that's basic respect, to be honest.
Can I just add that in that part where Amma says, "Amma, just Amma," and then Jess says, "Why are you being so rude?" The fact that she just snapped at her is gaslighting the whole thing, so she's actually putting the blame on Amma when she hasn't done anything wrong and it's not her fault.
Yeah, because I think like a lot of the time in situations like these, the person like Amma might kind of be made to feel like they're being rude or being so extra, when actually it's a very basic thing to have your name pronounced right. You know, it's quite annoying to have someone say your name wrong constantly, so she's within her rights to correct Jess.
Cześć, wróciłem, jestem bardzo głodny, co na obiad?
Hallo, alles goed? Bedankt.
So moving on to the kind of next part of the script where we can flag up an issue. So at lunch, I think it's at lunch, where Jess goes, "Yeah, she's from Africa, she's so cool." She's assuming because of the colour of her skin that she's from Africa, and it's kind of like making assumptions about someone based on what they look like, which you shouldn't do. Like, I know sometimes you can be guilty of making assumptions of someone, but if you notice yourself making an assumption or coming to a conclusion about someone just based on the way they look, you should be like, no, hold on, I haven't even spoken to them, I don't even know them. Like, you've got to get to know someone. And in this specific situation, it's about like race, but it can be also with other things as well. Like, you might think someone looks really mean when actually they're really nice. It's just kind of like, basically, don't judge people by the way they look. Give them a chance.
Mm-hmm. I also think that then Amma, she's being really polite throughout this, to be honest, but how she goes like, oh, I was born in London, I've never been to Africa in my life, and she's being very polite about the whole situation. However, Jess, I don't know, seems to act all offended about it, when it's a simple correction that honestly it shouldn't have to be there in the first place, because she shouldn't have to make that assumption. But Jess is then saying like, oh, whatever, you know what I mean, which is incredibly rude and dismissive of someone's culture.
Yeah, especially as it was like, Jess's mistake.
Exactly. Like, if you make a mistake, you shouldn't in the first place assume, but if you did, and you were then corrected really politely, and no one's being mean to you about it, you should immediately apologise and try to correct yourself. And it just seems like the whole thing seems incredibly rude and disrespectful, because she's being really polite about the whole thing, and Jess is completely not listening and being horrible about it, to be honest.
So, sorry about that long pause.
Give me a sec.
Okay, yeah,
let's go.
I'm also going to put the camera away. But, so like, flag up what happens next, where it's also, like, highlighted and stuff, is where, basically it says, where Olivia says, what is that? And then Amma says, what do you mean? And then Olivia says, on your head. And then she says, is that a wig? And then Amma's like, no, it's not a wig. And then everyone's like, oh my God, it's so cool, can I touch it? And then they start touching her hair without her permission, which, number one, crosses boundaries of people, because I talked to Inka about this yesterday, and it's like the biggest way of me to express my point is to put it into like a scenario, like saying, imagine some people like say, oh my God, what is that? Number one, accusing you of having a wig, which seems a bit offensive. Like, they don't believe that it's your real hair. They don't believe it's this. They don't believe it's that. And
make you feel quite bad about your hair.
They're basically alienating you and being like, oh, your hair's so different. It's so like weird compared to ours. Like, we just have like normal basic hair. That's all in quotations, by the way.
yeah.
It's really rude.
And basically, this is, like I said, how I get my point across. Imagine you're a new person, and then they're like, oh my God, your hair looks so cool, can I like touch it because it looks like a wig? And then they don't even ask, they ask the question, can I touch your hair? But then they didn't wait for a response before, sorry, I'm touching the cable, before going in and actually touching the hair. And then when, this is going to be the next part, so I'm not going to point it out, but basically it just crosses boundaries and it makes people feel uncomfortable, and it's just please don't do this. Ask people, and if they say no, then be kind and say, oh, okay, so I'm not going to do it then.
Yeah, and like, I understand if you've never been exposed to different types of hair, or like not just with hair, because again,
like with everything, really.
Yeah, with anything. If
religion,
if you've
culture,
never
food,
been
anything.
Yeah, if I can understand being curious and being like kind of interested by it because you've never seen something like it before, but then just because you're curious and you're interested and you don't understand it does not give you the right to be pushy and to not respect boundaries. Like, when they just go ahead and touch it, like Nat said, that's really wrong. That would make Amma feel really uncomfortable. I know if someone just randomly started touching my hair, I'd be like, please don't touch my hair like that.
It's just very odd.
Yeah.
Like,
they didn't even ask. Like, consent, guys.
Real. I think that's one of our healthy
Season
relationships.
1, yeah.
Healthy relationships.
Go listen to season 1, because
it
can, yeah.
It will give you more information on this topic, and it will give you some background information on what we're basically on about. But who should I point out the next point? The red one, or Don't mind me, I have TikTok in my mouth.
There's much else that we have.
There's one more where it basically says, can you please stop touching my hair? I'm not really comfortable with everyone playing with it. And then someone says, stop being so weird about it. It's just hair.
Could I do that one? Sorry,
Yes.
I was kind of awake because I was taking pictures of you guys. I got some really nice ones.
I want to see them. I literally just grab the camera out your hand.
That's okay. So we're doing the red one, right? The stop touching my hair one.
Yes.
Okay. So this part, Anma says shyly, can you please stop touching my hair? I'm not really comfortable with everyone playing with it. So for this part, this is...
We've already done this.
Have we? Yeah. Have we already done this one? No, I read it out. You can read it out again.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry. So at this part that Natalia has just read out, it's showing how these girls aren't really paying that much attention to what Amma wants. They're not really listening to her, so they're kind of excluding her in a way and pretending that she's, I don't want to be rude when I say this, but she's some other being just because she's different to everyone and she has different hair. But everyone's different in their own way and everyone's beautiful in their own way.
大家好，我喜欢算式，然后我很期待。Hej trevlig och träffa dig, jag älskar din tröja och jag älskar
So at this point, all the girls are eating, which we've just read. So this is kind of, the girls are criticizing Amma's food just because they've never seen it before and it's new and it might be in her culture. And because their culture is different and they've seen this new foods that they don't like the look of, they're criticizing her. And they're actually saying, if you don't eat like us, look like us, talk like us, have names like us, we're not going to be friends with you. I don't really know what else to add, so Ju, can you add some more?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's again like the hair situation. It's something different, something that they maybe haven't been exposed to before. And it's in human nature to be curious and kind of skeptical of differences. Like, it's an inbuilt human, like, reaction that came from, you know, to protect ourselves in, like, the beginning of time. But if you catch yourself being, like, kind of, I don't know what the word for it is, not open to differences, then you should kind of stop yourself and be like, hold on, this is different, I haven't seen this before, I don't know what this is like very new to me. But that doesn't mean that you have to be skeptical of it. You should try and be open-minded and try and learn about it. And by telling her she can't eat whatever kind of food she was eating, that's kind of like denying her culture and being like, we're allowed to express our culture, but you're not allowed to express yours. You have to fit in with our culture if you want to be friends with us.
Yeah, that's giving red flags in friendship. Season 1. There's going to be like...
Again, go check it out.
There's going to be plugs of all our seasons. But yeah. Should we read the inclusive version?
Yeah, sure. Yes, okay.
Yeah,
that
so
fun.
basically,
So
Eliza...
I feel like we haven't really
Sorry.
Not me just realizing my mic is off.
I'm so sorry, I did not realize that.
Eliza very kindly rewrote the script, but made it like inclusive, so in an ideal world how it would have gone. And obviously it's again very exaggerated and some of it might be described as a little bit cringy, but we've just kind of, or Eliza's kind of done that because we want it to stand out, so that we can like talk about it, because this is fictional, so that we can discuss the parts in it. In real life it might be a little more subtle, but yeah. Who's going to start with the stage directions?
I want to do it this time. We're keeping the same roles, but I'm starting with the stage directions this time.
Okay. Off you go.
Okay. So, scene. Brackets. A high school cafeteria. Amma and Jess are sitting at a table talking. Two other friends, Cami and Olivia, approach them.
Hey Olivia, Cami, come over here. This is my friend Armar.
Actually, it's Amma.
Oh, sorry Amma. Thanks for correcting me.
Hi, Amma. Jess says you're from Africa. That's so cool.
Actually, I'm British. My parents are from Nigeria, though.
Oh, can you tell us more about Nigeria? I always wanted to learn more about different cultures.
Sure, I'd love to.
Your hair is really beautiful. Can I touch it? Or does that make you feel uncomfortable?
Thanks for asking. I prefer if people don't touch my hair, but thank you for saying it's beautiful.
Oh, I totally get that. Your personal space is important.
The bell rings for lunch. The group moves to the cafeteria counter. And then Cami looking at Amma's lunch. What are you having? It looks interesting.
It's jollof rice. It's a Nigerian dish.
Oh, that sounds delicious. I'd love to try some.
Yeah, I think it's great to have different foods. It makes life a little more interesting.
Thanks, guys. It means a lot that you're interested in my culture and respectful of my boundaries.
Of course, Amma. We're friends and we want to learn from each other.
Absolutely. If you ever feel uncomfortable with something we do, just let us know, okay?
I will. Thank you for being so understanding.
The group continues their lunch, chatting and laughing.
Chat.
I want to say this one. I want to say this bit.
Chatting and laughing.
Okay, I want to say this bit. In this alternate scenario, the conversation is open and respectful, allowing Amma to share her culture without feeling invalidated. Don't stare at me like that.
Say invalidated.
Invalidated or disrespected. Jess learns to pronounce her name correctly. The friends show genuine interest in her background and they respect her personal space and boundaries. This fosters a positive and inclusive environment where everyone feels valued or heard.
And. It was and.
Oh.
Okay, so, I mean, you could probably tell that that last bit was completely pre-written, but, I mean, hang on. I was going to say something. Okay, so you can see that, like, that last bit was completely pre-written, but basically what we were trying to explain was that in the first scenario, obviously, they were being, like, racist, passive-aggressive, and completely, like, ignoring her culture, and how Amma was being completely polite to try and correct them. Whereas in this scenario, they're actually, like, listening. They're listening to when Amma, like, corrects them, when she, like, explains to them something about her culture they may not be familiar with, which is totally fine as long as they're open to learning, which in this scenario they are. So it's definitely much more positive. They're actually listening, they're respecting, and therefore it's definitely the better scenario.
I mean, yeah, because, like I said, imagine you're, like, coming in and then they're like...
Imagine.
I'm sorry, because that's how I get my point across.
Yeah, no, that's how I get that's how I, like, understand points. I think about it in my...
So, I think my keyword is now, like, imagine. But, imagine, you're meeting new friends, you're in a new school.
Oh my gosh,
what was that?
my chair just went. I don't know what that first noise was.
That first noise was it was either the drums.
We're on spinny chairs and my chair just, like, went down to the ground.
Anyway, I want to keep this in.
No, it keeps
so funny
because, like, my weight's on it. Yeah, we should definitely keep it in. It makes the podcast
funny. It breaks the tension.
We're funny people.
Imagine. No.
Talk to the camera, yeah?
So, imagine you're going to a new school. I can't do it because I'm looking in the camera and I'm going to laugh. So, imagine you're going into a new school and then, like, let's say, like, you have a name that is not English and then you're like, oh, like, hi, what's your name? And then you pronounce it. They pronounce it and then you're like, oh, no, you're supposed to pronounce it like this. But then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. That makes me feel happy inside. Because I'm like, yay, they pronounced my name correctly. You don't know, like, it's not like you don't know the effect of what's going to happen, but you're going to know that you're not disrespecting the person in any other way. So just be a good person and just, when people say that's not how you pronounce the name, that's not how you pronounce the name, and pronounce it correctly. Yes. What else? Let's go back to, like, the worst script. Which is
the non-inclusive script.
The non-inclusive script, which is basically where they...
Actually, I don't know if we still have the paragraphs. We wrote, like, like spent quite a while actually, like annotating everything. We highlighted it.
I think they're
Actually,
gone.
what happened? Why?
Wait, we're gonna get them back in a minute. They're back.
They're back.
Are they? They are back.
Oh, okay.
And the camera died.
I think
So we're going-
maybe we shouldn't like read
It's
them
fine.
out, but we can just kind of
I
put
think
them in
we
our
should.
own words.
We should, and then we should
dying.
go to finish explaining them, and then that can be the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait.
So,
wait,
throughout the entire podcast episode, when
entire podcast.
Throughout the entire episode.
throughout
Throughout
the
the
entire
extract.
throughout the extract reading, we all highlighted a few very important key terms. No, you didn't. Shh. And those key terms were gaslighting, microaggression, racism, and bullying. We will all now summarize what they all mean, I believe. But
We highlighted all the things that show gaslighting, and Liz is going to read out what that means.
what? Oh, right. Sorry. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse or manipulation in which the abuser
read it
attempts.
slowly so they can comprehend it.
Okay. Sorry. Restarting. Gaslight.
You sounded like AI. Like restarting.
Restarting.
Anyway, carry on because the camera's about to die.
Okay. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse or manipulation in which the abuser attempts to show self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind. Typically, gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person by distorting reality and forcing them to question their own judgment and intuition.
Yes, amazing. This is
So the next one is microaggression. Microaggression is a term used for commonplace verbal behavior or environmental slights, whether intentional or unintentional, that communicate hostile, derogatory, or negative attitudes towards those of different races, cultures, beliefs, or genders.
Okay, so racism is one that actually I think a lot more people know what it is, since there are a lot of movements that talk about it. But by definition, racism is discrimination and prejudice against people based on their race or ethnicity. Racism can be present in social actions, practices, or political systems, for example, apartheid, that support the expression of prejudice or aversion in discriminatory practices. There we go. I know how to pronounce that word, and something in me just unclicked. But yeah, discriminatory practices.
okay. Then the last one, the last and final one is bullying. I'm gonna like try to get the camera to focus, but highlighted in orange is bullying. Seek to harm, intimidate, or coerce (brackets) someone perceived as vulnerable. That's literally it.
Zooming in.
Oh, okay.
Zooming in on that.
Basically, it's to seek harm, to intimidate or coerce
So
someone.
that's a more detailed summary on kind of what we were talking about when we were reading the first extract.
Yes.
I'm kind of lost of what to say now because we've done this so much.
I know.
Wow, okay. That's
I mean,
actually so
I think the other words we can say is like. I think like just like I said, like whenever you meet a new person, do not be rude about it. Basically be like, oh hi, like introduce yourself first.
Be kind, guys.
This is a
not
tutorial.
rude.
This is a tutorial. Let's do a quick follow on. This is
Go on then.
Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial on how to be nice to people.
Okay, so
Wait, I just
today's
wanted-
demonstrating dummies will be Nat
Guys.
and Inka.
Yeah.
Okay, woohoo.
Yeah. Yes.
I just wanted to say that sometimes it might seem when we're recording these episodes like we think that we're like so perfect and like we would never do this
yeah.
and blah blah blah, but like we're learning as we record the
Yeah,
episodes.
we are.
We're all guilty of some of the stuff we've spoken about like unintentionally on the episodes. We're not perfect, so you know, because it kind of sounds like we're kind of like teachers, like don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah,
We're-
but we plan our episodes before we do them.
Yeah.
We think about what we're going to say and
We just like let it flow, to be honest.
we plan out our main ideas and then we just speak because we're normal people too. So
Basically, we're not perfect, guys.
Exactly.
Guys, we're just like you. We just have
we
microphones.
try to say what we think's wrong and what we think's right and try to like give our opinions on topics to try and help other people, and we show statistics only to help you guys. And that doesn't mean that, like, we're perfect. Like, of course, sometimes we might, like, linking back to when we were doing social media, for example, sometimes we will see a video or a pin on Pinterest or a post on Instagram or any other app and get jealous and compare our lives to the lives of the people that we see on the screen. But
Relating back to season 2 social media.
and even though we have said multiple times, oh no, you shouldn't compare, you shouldn't feel bad about yourself, we still agree with that, but that doesn't mean that we always feel that way too, because we are human and we are young, just like I'm sure loads of people that are watching right now. That's why we try to direct towards school children, we try to direct towards teenagers and young people within our community so that they can relate to us and so that they can understand where we're coming from, while also not being perfect. Because, as I said, we are not perfect. So I think that's something to just draw attention to, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, they have a podcast, they have such a cool setup, they know exactly what they're talking about, they've like won awards, whatever. But that doesn't mean that we're perfect all the time. So I think it's just important for everyone to understand that as well.
So as Inka said, we are humans, we are liable to fail. And from a really nice quote from Scrooge from A Christmas Carol, a book that we're learning in English, he states, "I am mortal," Scrooge remonstrated. What? Remonstrated. Sorry, guys, I can't even say it. "I am mortal," Scrooge remonstrated, "and liable to fail." This actually tells us that Scrooge is actually saying that we are not perfect. We will fall, we will fail, and we will make mistakes and we will learn from them.
Yes.
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 Sorry, guys. I said yes.
Linking this to A Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel
a bit
like
confused.
None of us have got anything to talk about anymore, so we should summarise it instead, because it's also 20 past.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to put in that quote because I remembered it from a lesson that we had on Monday. So I just wanted to put that out there because it's a really, I would say, really nice quote that shows that we are not perfect. Summarization now.
Okay, pitch was perfect. Anyway, so the summary of this episode is basically how you should act towards people that you've never met before and that you think, like, oh, how do I summarize this? And how you want to learn about, like, their culture and how to approach people without sounding rude. But yeah, I think that's like the quickest summary of this. And if anyone has a longer summary, then
I mean, I think
say
we've just like the conversations run dry, because I think during our other seasons on episode 2, we'd always do a script like we did today, obviously, but we'd normally have a guest on it, so there'd be like a lot more to discuss. So I think at this point, there's not really much more to discuss. We've covered the main points. We've shown our opinions. So I want to thank you guys very much for listening. This episode was very, very messy. I have to, like, we
pray for me for
went off
editing.
track a lot. We were laughing a lot. We were barely, like, we were repeating what we were all saying. I don't know. It was very messy. But we really, really enjoyed making it. And I hope that you enjoyed listening to it. Also, like, congratulations for getting this far through our crazy by the end of the episode.
Thank you.
Thank you to all our loyal followers.
Message us on our LabListens email, and also join our Google Classroom and join our WhatsApp group if you have our numbers, which we are not disclosing because that's personal information. And good news, we are also trying to we are trying to get our podcast on Spotify. So pray for all of us that we are actually going to get it on Spotify. And hello. But yeah, that's all from me. I want to say, like, I'm signing out. Like, it's like a weird thing. But thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. And I hope you guys have a nice rest of your life today.
Have a good life. I'm sorry this episode has been so rambling. Bye!
Oh my God.
Bye!
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 Cześć, wróciłem, jestem bardzo głodny, co na obiad?
Hallo, alles goed? Bedankt. Àgbà kí n wà lọ́jà kó yọmọ tuntun wo.
大家好，我喜欢上学，然后我很期待。
Hej, trevlig och träffa dig. Jag älskar din tröja och jag älskar choklad.
Kedu Odema.
Not all that glitters is gold.
नमस्ते, आपका स्वागत है.
Welcome med Safia Yakukio.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Tengan buen día.
हमारे podcast में खुशामदीद.
Ko never know the use im tail till it gone.
Dzień dobry wszystkim, witamy w podcaście.
In bocca al lupo.
Crepi lupo.